Okay, my friends, you already know what time it is. It's time for another book review. This time we're doing Neil Gaiman, American Gods. American Gods, you may know the name. It is currently an Amazon series. I decided to buy the book because I like the trailers, I like the look of the series. So I decided buy the book, read the source material, because it's too often that I don't read the source material before I jump into TV shows or films or anything like that. Neil Gaiman. This book is it's essentially a story. The bare bones of it is just a story of a man. We're not told his birth name. He goes by the name Shadow Moon. Very early 2000s. This book came out in 2002, so the name Shadow Moon is like very, very, very early 2000s. He's in jail for a crime that isn't elaborated on too much in the book. It is touched upon. He's about to finish his sentence and go home. He's released early after the death of his wife in a car accident. And on the plane, on the way home, he runs into a man who calls himself Mr. Wednesday. And Mr. Wednesday says to him, "Come and work for me, be my bodyguard, do odd jobs for me, and I'll pay you well." And Mr. Moon, Shadow, realises he's got nothing to lose, signs up for this job, and goes on a journey across America. And he is eventually drawn in to a brewing war between the old gods of mythology and the gods of religion and the new gods. And the entire premise of this book is based upon this war that's brewing between the new gods of American culture, gods of such things as media, as conspiracy theories, as technology, and the old gods, so gods of Norse mythology, Hindu mythology, Indian and Asian and African gods, and all these different kind of gods of ancient lore and ancient mythology and ancient practice. And so there's not a great deal of action in this book. I was expecting, when I read up on the book before I read it was about a war. I was expecting loads of battle scenes, loads of violence. There is some violence, there's not a great deal, but it's more philosophical than it is action oriented. So it's a lot more thoughtful, it's a lot more intelligent, for want of a better word, than it is to do with action. Shadow, the main character, is essentially the stand-in for the audience. We are in the middle, as he is in the middle. He feels his allegiance to Mr. Wednesday and the old gods, and he also feels himself sort of being pulled this way a little bit towards the new gods at various points in the book. Trying not to spoil too much for you guys, so if it looks like I'm struggling for things to say, it's because I'm trying to discuss this book without actually discussing what happens in the book, which is more difficult than you might think. This is the author's preferred text. As you may know, novels are rewritten and parts pulled out, parts thrown in, parts edited a whole bunch of times before novels are actually published. This is the this is the author's preferred text, released as part of the 10th anniversary of the book. So this is from that. What I say from that is, Neil Gaiman would prefer you to read this version. It's the author's preferred text. There's a sequence in here with a character that strongly alludes to Jesus, which has been taken out and added in a number of times since the book's publication. It's in there. Everything is in here. It's quite stocky, about 600 pages long. Definitely worth a read. It's definitely a very, very good examination and a good analysis of American culture and the idea of American worship. And themes in this book include sacrifice, friendship, loyalty, obviously worship and belief and faith. Loads of different, quite deep themes. So it's definitely worth picking up and reading. Neil Gaiman did an absolute stonker on this. He did an absolute brilliant job on this. It is definitely one of the better books that I've read over the last year. So that's it. Go ahead and pick it up. Neil Gaiman, American Gods, and I'll see you next time.